A recently released artificial intelligence app trained on a private database of church documents could soon be a powerful tool for evangelization. Magisterium AI could help answer questions from the faithful. It could also help a priest or a deacon with writing a homily. Right now, it is set to ask and receive responses in several languages. And the advisory board includes the rector of one of the Vatican departments, which is contributing resources. And joining us now to talk more about this is Matthew Sanders, founder and CEO of Longbeard, which developed Magisterium AI. Matthew, great to be with you. This is so exciting. So tell us more about Magisterium AI and how it is different, that is, or maybe similar to ChatGPT, which many people are familiar with.
Well, I mean, it's similar in the sense that its brain kind of works in a similar way. ChatGPT is prone to a few problems, even though it's a wondrous technology. One of them is hallucinating. Which basically means it has a tendency to make things up. And, that happens with technologies, like especially when you're training it on such a large swath of the internet. So one of the distinctions between Magisterium AI and ChatGPT is our AI is trained on a private database of church documents. And so we're able to kind of rein in the hallucination to a large extent, for the most part. Of course, there's work being done every day to try and minimize any kind of bugs. But for the most part, it's been performing really well.
Yeah. And to your point, saying that, what can be done, I guess, to kind of rid it of maybe you call it hallucinations? I mean, how do you pick up on that?
Well, I mean, really, it's just a matter of tuning, a lot of tuning. Often an AI will hallucinate if it doesn't have a very simple answer to a question, or the documents it's actually searching, it can't find a reference. It might make something up just to give you an answer. And so part of when you're working with an AI is learning how to dial it in so it just doesn't do that. And part of it is just making sure that the vast majority of the questions you're getting, you have really solid answers. And that's one of the things that we did before launching our beta, is made sure that having consulting with chancellors from all across the world, chancellors being the people that typically are in charge for doctrine at the local diocese, checking with them to make sure that most of the important questions they receive on a regular basis, that we have those covered off. Having worked myself at the Office of Spiritual Affairs in the Archdiocese of Toronto before founding Longbeard, I had a pretty good sense of some of those questions, but they've been very helpful in making sure that we smash some of these bugs.
Yeah, and the Catholic Church, seems like a really interesting sector for this type of technology. In what ways, I guess, can you tell us why it's such a good fit? And also, what inspired you to undertake this project?
Sure. I mean, in some ways, I think the church is kind of made for a project like this. I mean, the church doctrine has been consistent, for a very, very long time, from the very beginning. And so when you have so much consistency in a large body of work, it really helps an AI, because when it's dealing with contradictions, it can tend to get tripped up or be confused about what answer it should give. Should it give the answer from 1485 or should it give the answer from 2022? And so because there's so much consistency in church teaching, this has really kind of helped our efforts. The genesis of this it comes from two places. So one, in my time working at the Archdiocese of Toronto and the chancery there, I used to field a lot of questions on doctrine, dogma, heck, even exorcisms. That took up a lot of time, and we had a little resource library we had to keep close by just to make sure we were providing the faithful, solid answers. Priests deal with this on a regular basis. And so, I always dreamed of technology like this existing. And I was shocked to see it arrive so quickly. So that's one of the reasons we created. The other reason was one of our clients is the Pontifical Oriental Institute in Rome, which is kind of the center of educational excellence for the Eastern churches. And the rector there is very forward-thinking, and he was looking to digitize his library so that he could make it available to more people around the world, because studying at the Orientale is really for the privileged few. So initially we thought about creating a Google Books-like platform, but one of the issues with that is that really is only something that academics can really use and make. We wanted something a little bit more. It was easier for people to a little more easy for them to access and navigate, and really kind of a Q&A kind of format, especially as one of their constituencies is the Middle East. And so we wanted to make sure that in places where the internet wasn't really strong, they would be able to easily access it. And so basically Magisterium AI was kind of created to be kind of a Q&A interface with swaths of documents and books that they have in their library. And this is one of the major projects of Magisterium AI, is to work with pontifical universities to digitize their libraries. And so the insight that are available in those books are available to anyone in the world on any device in their native language.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. It really is. And I'm curious, with Magisterium AI, what kind of impact do you see it having within the church? Maybe possibly with theological research or liturgical ministry. Give us an idea.
Yeah, so it's been really fascinating to see the feedback. It took on really quickly. We've had people, from Korea and Japan, New Zealand, Australia, the United States, Europe, and the feedback we've been getting has been on a number of fronts. One, canon lawyers seem to love it. It really helps them with their work. Priests have been commenting how the homily, the stuff that, in fact, they can actually help prepare a homily. Of course, the priest will have to go in there and do their thing to personalize it. But just helping them save some time and some of the research is something very helpful. And of course, yes, for academic research, for people that are looking to write papers or looking for sources, what document should I consult on what topic? It can be enormously helpful. And really just for general catechetics. I mean, if a priest is going to be talking about a specific issue, a reference to church doctrine, and he wants to kind of prep up, you can just quickly go and ask a few questions, and it'll spit out some concise answers, and he can run with it. So I think it has the possibility to touch a lot of different areas of the church. I mean, education would be one of them, especially for teachers and things. But really, we're just beginning to tap its potential. I really don't know where it eventually could go.
Yeah, we have about a minute left, Matthew. But anything else you think would be valuable for our viewers to know about? And also, where can they get information about it?
Sure. Well, I mean, one thing to keep in mind is, I think with artificial intelligence, because the media tends to play it up as a kind of a dangerous, scary technology, and certainly it is a technology that has to be taken seriously. But Pope Francis has said, on a number of occasions now, that it's a tool, and as a tool, it can be used to do good or it can be used to do bad. So I think the one thing that's lovely about the church using it, so of course we would only ever wield it to do good. So in that respect, I think AI can really be a kind of a helpful partner in ministry. And if you would like to learn more about Magisterium AI, you can visit us at magisterium.tech and check it out and try it for yourself.
All right, Matthew, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about this. Really exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.